I too was socialized to not mention motherhood or to even think about mothering or motherhood as a grad student. It just happened that we got pregnant and we decided to have a baby. And that's how life happens sometimes. But it's been really difficult, to be quite honest, to find a home that can nurture this kind of radical feminist thinking. I was on the market this past summer and 0 calls, 0 interviews. And I think it's because, I don't know why, right? I could be because I haven't earned my PhD yet, but it could also be other things. And I think the response that I've received from the rejections, I've learned a lot from rejection. Like at this point, I don't even get mad anymore. I'm like, well, I take it as learning. I take it as feedback. And I take it as where our society is, even within feminisms and women's studies. There's I think those who might be in search committees, because I'm interdisciplinary, I'm in education, I am a critical race theory scholar, I'm a Chicana feminist, and now I'm a maternal theorist. The old school veteranas who are reading these letters, my cover letters, are responding back to, well, this is essentializing motherhood, and it's also not part of our liberation. But I'm like, that's not what Patricia Collins says, or Angela Davis, or Gloria Saldúa, or Cherry Moraga. That's not what they're saying, and they've been talking about this for a very long time. So for me, I take that as fuel, but I also take it as I'm gonna find a home somewhere where I can be my authentic self, because my whole goal, and it's something that Deb told me, I'll never forget. I was really upset that I didn't get a call back from UC Davis, and I had just met her that day after. I was like still puffy-eyed. I was like, I didn't get a call back. I'm so upset. I was already at UC Davis in my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna be a badass Chicana scholar here. I'm gonna teach the babies. But I had forgotten about the intent. And something she asked me in her social work language, well, who is your client? And I'm like, oh shit. My client are the students of color, the mother scholars, the babies, the ones who are lost, the ones who need to find their way. I am their mirror. I am their in lakesh. And so how to remember the intent is to find a home somewhere where I can center mothering, maternal theory, women of color, feminist thought as the center part of my scholarship and my identity politics, because that's really woven into who I am. I mean, despite the fact that I'm already like a Chicana with tattoos, right? Like with a kid with the LA accent, like I already have these markers. Why not just embrace it and embrace those who identify with me and even those who don't, and teach. So I think it's a really, really complicated place to be at. There's tensions. I think there's a lot to learn from the tensions. And I think that's also part of the project and the work that we're doing. This is the labor of love. Like, this is all voluntary. Like, we don't, we sell swag because we need to get to conferences. So that's the purpose of it. So if you're interested, I have swag. Not here with me, but we will connect. But that's part of the hustle, and it's part of our intent to be that mirror, the reflection, for those who had to hide in the shadows for a very long time. And I understand there's legal language behind that, because I had to study some of the policy around Title IX, and also when we were, as grad students, interviewing prospective faculty who were being hired, like certain things we can and cannot ask. So I understand there's also that aspect of it, right? But when all the professionals leave the room and the grad students are with the professor, we talk about children. It's really interesting. They want to talk about this with us. So I'm like, well, let's just talk about it. I'm like, we won't say anything, right? So that's, it's been really difficult for me. I'm hopeful that I'll find a home. But I'm also really excited because in the last maybe 2 years, I've seen a lot of different anthologies and books and articles that talk about mothering, centering mothering. One that I was really excited about was called Black Mothering, that just came out through Rutgers University. I was like, we're talking about it across the nation and globally. So that gives me hope that somebody we're hiring Christine because she's gonna, address the issues in higher education for Chicana, Latina, women of color, mothers.